Okay, so now we're going to start to get into different classes that Tailwind gives us, and I want to start off with colors. So if we click on this colors link, we're going to get a blank page. Let's open up the colors index.html. Go ahead and close that up. So basically, we have a range of colors that are available to us by default. You can create your own colors as well, which I'll get to later, but we have all of these, and we also have different shades of these colors as well. And that's for text, background, borders, whatever. So let's start off with text. So I'm going to have a paragraph here, and of course we have text-black. We saw that in the last video. And we'll just say Tailwind is awesome, or whatever you want to write here. So that gives us black, and we have white as well. So let's do text white, which you can't see, but I'll highlight it and you can see it is there. So black and white don't have shades. Like I can't do black 200 or anything like that. It's just black and white, okay? Now, if I want to use, let's say, red, then we have to use a shade. So if I do just text red, you'll see it's just black or whatever the default is. So the shades we have from 50 to 900. And it would be 50 for the first one. So you can see it's very, very light. You can barely see it. And then we can go to 100. That's a little darker. Go to 200, a little darker, all the way to 900, which is basically maroon for red. All right, but let's make this 500. And I'm just going to copy this down a little so that we can look at some other colors. So obviously we have like the main green, blue, and so on. But we also have colors like emerald, what else? Zinc. We have, if we look up at the top there, slate. Slate. So we have all these different colors available, and of course different shades. If I want to make that darker, zinc, we could do 300. So that'll change the shade. So you have a lot of options. And these same things like green 500, whatever, you can use all of these same things with backgrounds. All right, so I'll just copy this and let's just change from text slate 800, we'll change it to BG. So if I save that, now you'll see we have that background. All right, we'll copy this down a little bit. Let's do emerald, change it to, let's say 400, 300, and this isn't going to be the exact same as Tello. It's not going to be the exact same as the done version. I'm just throwing random colors in here. Let's do indigo. All right, cool. Now, obviously, the Slate 800 is really dark, so you're probably going to want to add in here a class of text white, or you could do like text yellow 200, something like that. And then that blue or indigo is pretty dark, so you'd probably do text white there. And throughout the course, I would encourage you to open up your dev tools and just kind of look at some of these. Like if I click on this, you'll see the text yellow 200. We have this RGB value, BG Slate 800. This is the actual color, this RGB value right here. So if you're ever curious about what is actually going on under the hood, what the CSS properties are, you can, of course, do that. Now, we also have text underline colors, so I'll just grab one of these, and what we'll do is add a class of underline. Let's get rid of the background color. Just adding that will give it an underline, the same color as the text. But we can also say I'm sorry, not underline. I always do that. It's decoration, decoration, and then whatever you want the color. Let's say red 500. So now you can see it has a red underline. So we'll do emerald 600, and let's do yellow 800. And now we have different color underlines. So I mean, I don't use that too much, but it is available. And then for border colors, let's do some inputs with our border. So if I do a class of border, and I'll get into like border widths and stuff later. Right now we're just looking at the colors, but we do have to have the class of border, which by default will just give me this very light gray. But if I want to change that, I could do border dash and then whatever, whatever color I want. So we'll say blue. This one will say green, and this one will say orange. All right, so that'll give us different color borders. Again, doesn't have to be on an input. That could be on anything. Now, there's a class or classes to create divides. So if we want like a border between items or something like that. So I'm going to have a class here, or a div with the class of divide-y, because this is going to be going vertical. And then in here, I'll just generate with Emmet, I'll generate some divs with, let's say, item, and then whatever that number is, and we'll multiply that by 5. That'll just give us 5 divs. And if I save that, by having this divide y class, you can see it adds a divider, just a border in between. So if I want to change the color of that, I could actually do like divide-blue-300. Okay, so, and these are always going to be the same color, whether it's for a divide, a border, a background, text, whatever. You also have outline. So let's do, for instance, a button, and we give it a class of just outline. If I save that, actually we need to put something in here. We'll just say hello, and we get like a dark background, but we can add on to this outline dash, and let's do red 500. All right, so we can do that as well. We'll say blue 200. Okay, so that's outline. Then we can also do shadows. Now I'm going to go over shadows later on, but and I'll talk about the sizes and all that. But to have a shadow, we need to have a shadow class and a size. So we'll do shadow LG, and then let's also add a background to it. We'll do background cyan dash 500, and then for the shadow color we can say like shadow dash cyan, and we'll do 500, and we'll say subscribe. Actually, I wanted that to be a button, but as you can see that we can do it on a div as well. But let's change that to a button. All right, now as it says in the comment here, opacity defaults to 100, but you can set it. So where I set the shadow cyan 500, let's actually just copy this down. Let's change it to purple. Yeah, so we have a purple shadow, and if I want to change the opacity, I can say /50. And when I save, now you can see it's lighter. If I do 80, now it's darker. So yeah, by default, it's going to be 100, but you can decrease the opacity. So pretty cool. Now, accent colors, we can use these on checkboxes, which looks nice. So let's say we'll do an input, and we're going to use the class of accent dash purple, let's say purple 500, and I'm going to make this not a text, but a checkbox. And let's make it checked. So we'll add here, checked. And now you can see we have this purple checkbox when it's checked. So if I wanted to add, let's say cyan, there we go, good. And then this is really cool as well. And you can do arbitrary colors, but you can also do like arbitrary sizes. Basically, you can insert any value you want. So for instance, if I have a div here, I can add in a class, and I can do like BG dash, and then in brackets, I can have absolutely anything I want. If I have a hexadecimal value, such as 4, let's do 427 FAB, save that. Now you can see I have that as a background. Okay, and in addition to hex, you can do RGB, and let's do 255 for the first one, and then 00, that'll give us red. All right, and then you can also just do color names. So for instance, steel blue. All right, which is really cool. And this goes into what I was saying in the last video, how you can just do things on the fly and just test certain things out. So you don't even have to be restricted to all those color choices that you have. You can put absolutely anything in here. So another really cool part of Tailwind. All right, so in the next video, we're going to get into the container class, and we're going to talk about spacing.